In the vibrant and bustling town of Olumere lived a young, beautiful woman whose beauty was unmatched. Her name, Adana. She was the delight of every man in the community. Her skin is as smooth as the finest silk, her eyes as bright as the morning sun, and her smile could melt the coldest of hearts. Men from far and wide sought her hand in marriage, bringing gifts of gold, yams, and fine clothes, all in the hope of winning her favor. But Adana was not easily impressed. Only a man who could provide her with the life of luxury she desired would be worthy of her hand. She rejected suitor after suitor, each time blaming them for being too poor, too simple, or too common. The village whispers among themselves, wondering who could possibly be worthy of such a demanding woman. But Adana paid them no mind. She knew what she wanted and she was determined to get it. One fateful day, as Adamna was returning back from the stream, her clay pot balanced gracefully on her head. She saw something that made her heart skip a beat. A very beautiful black car gliding down the dusty path, polished. Adana has never seen such a thing. She was captivated by this. The car came to a stop beside her, and the window rolled down to reveal a man who could have stepped out of her wildest dream. His name was Hayo, a young, handsome, and wealthy man who had recently moved to Olumere. He was dressed in fine clothes, his waist adorned with a gold wristwatch that sparkled as brightly as the car he drove. Hayo smiled at Adana, his teeth white against his dark skin, and her heart fluttered in her chest. She could hardly believe her luck. A man of such wealth and sophistication has taken notice of her. Too, on the other hand, was taken aback with Adama's beauty, and he wasted no time in courting her. He showered her with gifts, jewelries, perfumes, and the finest clothes money could ever buy. He took her on drives in his car, showing her the world beyond the village, a world of luxury that she has wholly dreamed of. Adana was swept off her feet. Her dreams of a lavish life has finally come to reach. It wasn't long before Ayo proposed, and Adana accepted without hesitation. Their marriage was the talk of the town, a grand affair with music, dancing, and feasting that lasted for days. Adana was the center of attraction just as she has always wanted. She had everything that she has ever desired: a handsome, wealthy husband, a life of luxury, and the admiration of everyone around her. On the night of their honeymoon, as Adana lay in the luxurious bed of their lavish new home, she eagerly awaited the consummation of their marriage. But as Hayo undressed, she was struck by a wave of disappointment that she had never anticipated. Hayo's manhood was small, far smaller than she has ever imagined. As the night went on, it became painfully clear that he was unable to satisfy her. Adana felt a storm of resentment rise within her, a bitterness that she had struggled to keep hidden. She had married Hayo for his wealth, for the life of luxury he could provide, but she had never considered that he might not fulfill her other duties. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Adana's dissatisfaction grew. Hayo was a kind and attentive husband, always eager to please her, but nothing he did could make up for the disappointment she felt in the bedroom. She tried everything she could think of to remedy the situation. She laced his food with substance she had heard whereas his performance, hoping they would bring her the satisfaction she craved for. But it seems all proved no heed. She became withdrawn, her once bright smile fading into a mask of bitterness. She avoided intimacy with Ayo as much as she could, making excuses of illness to keep him at a distance. But her dissatisfaction was a secret she has kept hidden from the world. To everyone else, she was still the perfect wife living the perfect life. One day, as Adana was getting ready to go out, she honked the horn of her car, signaling for the gateman to open the gate, but there was no response. Irritated, she honked again, but still the gate remained closed. Frustration mounting, Adana stepped out of the car and stormed towards the gateman's quarters, ready to give him a piece of her mind. As she approached the small building, she noticed that the door was slightly ajar. Pushing it slightly open, she peeped inside, her eyes taking a moment to adjust to the dim light. What she saw next stopped her in her track, her breath catching in her throat. There, in the corner of the room, was Hayo, her husband, engaged in a passionate embrace with the gateman. The sight was overwhelming, a shock that hit Adana like a physical blow. She stood frozen, her mind struggling to process what she was seeing. The man she had married, the man she has resented for not being able to satisfy her, was in the arms of another man, his eyes closed in pleasure that she has never seen him express with her. Adana's heart pounded as she quietly closed the door of the gateman quarters. Her breath shallow. She had seen something that would change everything. Her husband, Hayo, the man she has married for his wealth and status, was locked in a passionate embrace with their great man. The image snailed itself into her mind, but she couldn't scream nor cry. Instead, she slipped back into the house, her movements deliberate and composed, as though nothing had happened. But inside, her world had shifted drastically. Adana's mind raced, replaying the scene over and over, the shock slowly giving way to a strange sense of resolve. Her resentment towards Hayo, who she had been fastened since their wedding night, now had a new dimension. She felt betrayed, but at the same time, a deep urge began to take hold of her, a desire to reclaim her power, to seize that which had been denied to her. She had noticed something else in that horrifying moment, a detail that stirred something dark within her. The gateman, a tall and muscular man named Musa, had been well endowed, far more so than her husband. A twisted idea took root in her mind, one that she knew was wrong, but she was willing to take it, come what may. If Hayo could betray me with another man, she thought, then I have no reason to hold back. I will take what I want, just as he did. Days passed, and Adana continued to act as though nothing was amiss. She played the role of the devoted wife. Her smile was as bright as ever, as it has always been. But inside, she was plotting, waiting for the right moment to set her pain or to set her plan in motion. One afternoon, while Hayo was away on a business trip, Adana called Musa to her room. She had never spoken to him much beyond the usual instruction to open the gate or carry her bags. But today, her tone was different, inviting. Musa, she said softly, her voice carrying just a hint of the desire she had been suppressing. Come inside, I need your help with something. Musa hesitated at the door, sensing that something was off, but he eventually stepped inside, his eyes respectfully lowered. Adana walked over to him, her hips swagging seductively, and placed a hand on his chest. "You've been working so hard, Musa." Her finger tracing the muscle beneath his chest. "You deserve a reward, a very good reward." Musa's eye widened in surprise, but before he could react, Adana pressed her lips to his, her kiss hungry and demanding. He tried to pull away, knowing the danger of what she was suggesting, but Adana was relentless. She struggled at his chest, her hand exploring his body with a desperation born of months of frustration. It didn't take long for Musa to give in to her advances. Adana was beautiful, and the way she touched him ignited a fire within him that he couldn't resist. Their clothes fell to the floor in a heap, and Adana finally got what she had been craving. Musa's body was strong, his touch was rough and powerful, and for the first time since her marriage, Adana felt the satisfaction that has excluded her. The affair quickly sprang out of control. Adana couldn't get enough of Musa. The thrill of their secret meetings, the forbidden nature of their relationship only made her desire for him stronger. She stopped going to work, preferring to spend the time at home with Musa. She would sneak Musa into her room. The guilt she had once felt was drowned out by the pleasure he gave her, and she convinced herself that she was justified in her action. Hayo had betrayed her, after all. Why wouldn't she do the same? But the illusion of their control was shattered. One day, Hayo came back home unexpectedly. He had forgotten some important files and decided to stop by the house to pick them up before heading to the office. He also had hope of stealing a little moment with Musa, whom he has missed during his time away. As Ayo car pulled into the driveway, Adana and Musa were in the peak of passion, oblivious to the world around them. The house was quiet, the curtains drawn, and Ayo moved through the rooms with a sense of familiarity, unaware of what awaited him. But as he approached the bedroom, he heard a noise. His brow furrowed in confusion, and he slowly pushed the door open. The scene that greeted him was beyond anything he could have ever imagined. His wife, the woman he had married, was in bed with Musa, their body tangled together in a way that left no room for doubt. For a moment, Ayo simply stared, unable to comprehend what he was saying. Then the realization hit him like a punch to the gut. "Adana!" he choked out, his voice filled with disbelief and hurt. Adana froze at the sound of his voice, her eyes wide with shock. Musa quickly disentangled himself from her, scrambling to find his clothes, but the damage was already done. Ayo's face twisted with anger, betrayal, and a deep staring pain that cut him to the core. "How could you?" He spat, his voice trembling with rage. "How could you do this to me, Adana? How?" Still reeling from the shock of being caught, struggled to find her voice. "Ayo, don't. I, I can. Don't." Ayo interrupted, his hand raised to silence her. "Don't even try to explain. I gave you everything. I mean everything, and this is how you chose to repay me? Is this how you chose to repay me, Adana? After all I've done for you?" Tears welled up in Adana's eyes, but they were not tears of remorse. They were tears of frustration, of the collapse of the carefully constructed life she has tried to build. "You betrayed me first." She finally found her voice. "Oh wow, you want to hurt smart now? Do you want to act smart? You think I don't know about you and Musa? You think I don't see? You do think I'm that dumb? Do you think I'm dumb? Are your eyes widened in shock? And for a moment, neither of them spoke. The truth hung between them, heavy and suffocating. I saw you, Ayo. Adana continued, her voice growing stronger. I saw you with him. And I was devastated. I thought I could ignore it, but then I realized if you could betray me, why shouldn't I take what I want? You are never man enough. You don't satisfy me. You don't give me what I want. But I still endured with you. But what did you do? You went into the arms of another man, leaving me to my fate. I dare. Hayo stood there, stunned, his heart racing. He had never imagined that Adana has known about his secret affair with Musa. He had thought he was being discreet, careful. But how did she get to find out? He thought he had underestimated her. The room was thick with tension, the air heavy with the weight of their mutter betrayers. Musa, who had been silently dressing in the corner, finally spoke. His voice low and filled with regret. I'm sorry, he muttered, not daring to look at either of them. I never meant for this to happen. But his apology did little to ease the pain in the room. Hayo turned to leave, unable to bear the sight of Adana any longer. As he reached the door, he paused, his voice cold and final. We are done, Adana. Whatever we had, whatever this is, it's over. With that, he walked out, leaving Adana alone in the room. As the sound of her car faded into the distance, Adana sank to the floor, her body trembling with the weight of everything that has just transpired. She has gotten what she thought she wanted: revenge, satisfaction. But now, all she felt was emptiness. Musa, sensing that there was nothing left for him, quietly slipped out of the room, leaving Adana to face the consequences of her actions. The illusion of the perfect life she had so desperately tried to maintain has crumbled, leaving her with nothing but the bitter taste of regret. Adana knew that there was no going back, that the life she had once envisioned has gone forever. And as she sat there alone in the silence of the empty house, she realized that she has lost not just her husband, but herself as well. The price of her desires has been too high, and now she was left to pay it alone and broken. Good day, my wonderful subscribers. Thank you once more for tuning in. What do you think about the story? Please drop that at the comment section. What are your moral lessons? What have you learned? What advice do you have for Adana? This story is actually a true life story. Yes, it's actually somebody's true life story. So please drop your comments at the comment section. If there is any words of encouragement that you have to give to Adana or to give to her husband, you can kindly drop that at the comment section. Please do well to also subscribe. Hit that subscription button. Turn on that notification bell to always get notified whenever I post videos. The only motivation I want from you guys is subscription. Please do subscribe. It keeps me going. Give the video a thumbs up. If you love the video, if you watched it and you like it, please give it a thumbs up. And most importantly, please drop your comments at the comment section. What you think, what advice do you have for Adana and her husband? Please drop them. This story is a true life story. It's somebody's true life story. So please drop them at the comment section. The person will be reading. Thank you and God bless you. See you in my next video. Bye.